Hi, my name is Samantha Duran, and for this week's SLO, I decided to do things a little bit differently. I decided to record a video about my justification for this week. For instance, this week I chose SLO article number 2, PBIS/MTSS tiered system meetings. For my justification, I'm just going to be answering these two prompts. How did applying this week's student learning outcome guide your future decisions/practices? How has the application of student learning outcome impacted your teaching practices/learning? And how will this learning experience support your practice in the future? So, to kind of dive into my justification, I wanted to reflect on how this SLO this week has impacted my teaching practices and how it will guide my future decisions in the classroom. So, one of my biggest takeaways from this week was the PBIS and MTSS, that's a mouthful, learning experience. It was realizing the importance of being very proactive instead of reactive. So, rather than just waiting until the last minute until I see that a student is falling significantly behind, I am able to use assessment data, classroom observations. I can apply writing samples and fluency checks to really help me identify the areas of where my students may need additional help and support in the classroom. So this has allowed me to make informed instructional decisions and provide targeted interventions before the learning gaps have become a lot larger. And I think especially that this is very important in first grade because students are really building the foundational literacy skills that they will use throughout the rest of their elementary education and so on. So another way that this week's SLO has impacted my teaching is by changing the way of how I think and I organize small group instruction. So during our grade level discussions, I was placed myself, the first grade team, and a second grade team. We talked about how using phonic assessments and fluency data can help create our intervention groups based on our students' specific needs. So instead of just grouping students randomly, I can intentionally choose to place certain students together who might need more support with similar skills, such as blending, decoding words, reading fluently, or just basically constructing complete sentences in writing. So I believe that this targeted instruction has allowed me to really hone in and focus on skills that students need while still maintaining a very strong tier one instruction for the entire class. I also learned that closely monitoring progress regularly is essential so that I can ensure that my students can move in and out of intervention groups as their skills gradually improve throughout time. One of the most valuable parts of this experience was really collaborating with the second grade team. Just hearing about all the challenges that they see with our first graders transitioning to second grade in fluency and writing has really helped me understand the importance of just preparing these students before they transition up to second grade. Um, I plan to incorporate more repeated reading activities, partner reading, echo reading into my fluency block to really improve that fluency. And I want to use sentence stems, graphic organizers, and modeled writing lessons to really help my students organize their thoughts and become more confident writers. I think that these strategies will improve my students with the support they need while gradually helping build their independence to hopefully do the writing by themselves. And in all, I think that this learning experience has really reinforced the importance of teaching behavioral expectations alongside academic skills. So I found that my students have been more successful when I have been able to clearly model the routines, provide the opportunities for practice, and reinforce positive behaviors during activities such as partner work and intervention groups. For instance, my class has really struggled with writing, but I found that clearly modeling routines on the hovercam has helped them a lot, such as modeling stems or just how to properly do punctuation in a sentence frame has really helped my first graders. So going forward, I do plan to continue to use data to drive my instruction. I plan to collaborate with my colleagues, my team members, as well as the second grade to brainstorm and share ideas and implement evidence-based strategies that have supported phonics, fluency, and writing development. And overall, I do believe that this week's SLO has really strengthened my understanding of how Tier 1 and Tier 2 can become intertwined and work close together to create a positive and inclusive classroom where every student has the opportunity to grow and succeed. And that is all for my justification of this week. Thank you so much.